Okay, if you hear heavy breathing, I'm so sorry for the background noise. My dog is in my room today. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Here is the long-awaited, I actually don't think it's long-awaited, my monthly wrap-up. Very excited. This is what I read in July. Kind of just forgot what month we're in, but we are in August, so this is what I read in July. I'm gonna count how many I've read so far. I somehow have read 18 books this past month. I don't know what it is, but I've just really been into, obviously into reading, and just like after I finish a book, I just feel like, I don't know, I always need like a book in my hand at this point. But I read 18, one was on my Kindle. A bunch of them are from videos that I filmed, like the reading Colleen for a day, or stepping out of my comfort zone, reading genres out of my comfort zone, so not all of them were mood reads, you know? So we're just gonna get right into it because I have a lot to say, a lot to talk about. Starting off pretty strong, for me at least, I read more of the Shatter Me series, Unravel Me, and then I think it was Fracture Me, and then Ignite Me. I did read these in the beginning of the month and this like more recently towards the end, so I'm just gonna put them together obviously because they're in the same series, but I did not read this one like right after because I had other books I was reading. Unravel Me is so farther earlier in the series, so a lot happens in here, and I love the way these are written. And I've seen a few reviews on Goodreads kind of bashing the way it's written, and people are kind of expecting more from the writing, and I don't think people realize it's young adult fiction, fantasy, dystopian books, so the way it's written is very easy to read, which I am loving because I get these books so quick because it's just like straight to the point. I love the way that the words flow in Juliet's head, the main character. If you don't know what the Shatter Me series is about, it's basically Juliet, the main character. She was born with a lethal touch, so anyone she comes in contact with dies, and she is held captive, but she's taken out of it, and there's kind of like this reestablishment thing going on, which is like the government. It's a dystopian novel, so it takes place a whole different world, and the government kind of controls everyone, and they kind of control over Juliet, but she gets out. There's romance in it. Oh, there's a lot. There's many other characters too that I love, like Kenji is Juliet's like BFF, and he is literally my favorite character. But every book that I've read so far has given me a surprise, and it's just been so easy to read, and they're just like, honestly, when I'm not doing like a book video, like a reading vlog or something like that, like I go back to these and I just continue reading the series, and it just feels so good. Like I love this series because it's just like, I don't know, I love the writing, I love the story, I love how quick and easy it is to read. You kind of just like get to the point, you get to what's happening next. There's always like a plot twist going on, so I like that. I have my notes if I missed anything. Also, there's like two kind of love interests, like I said. It's like Adam and Warner, and I was like in the beginning like, why does everyone like Warner? Because he's kind of like the bad guy, but I love him. So, and then you get the novellas. You don't have to read the novellas, but I honestly highly recommend it because you get Warner's point of view, you get Adam's point of view, and that's kind of like where you get like the insights of their head and how they're feeling, their perspective, which I think is like so important. So far, Ignite Me and Restore Me have been my favorite. Ignite Me is like a big fan fave, but honestly I might like Restore Me better. These have been my favorite so far. They are like so good. Like I just love them. They're just like easy breezy, interesting, entertaining reads, and they're not anything like too complex to read. Like it's just perfect. That's where I started. Read these for this month. And then we get into the Cruel Prince series. I feel like I read this literally months ago, but apparently not. Apparently I did read these this month. There's a reading vlog if you have not watched that. Definitely watch it to get like my reactions to things, how I felt like more specifically. But basically this is about Jude, who is a mortal from the mortal world. She has a twin sister, Taryn, who's also mortal, and then her sister, their older sister, Vivienne. They're half-sister, so she's kind of like not mortal. So they have the same mother, different fathers. In the very, very beginning, Vivienne's real father comes back from the fantasy world, kills their parents, and kidnaps them and brings them to the fairy world. She's immortal, Jude, the main character, growing up in a mortal world. The one thing I did like, I didn't like these books. Backtrack for a second. I don't remember what I rated these, but I will say they're probably, I think I gave Ignite Me and Restore Me 5s, and maybe I gave these 4s. But yeah, these were higher up ratings. But these, I'm pretty sure I gave Cruel Prince definitely 2, and then I think I gave maybe these 2, 3. They range from that. I didn't like this series. I know that's not a popular opinion. It's just, it was a personal opinion. I went into it with the wrong mindset, thinking it was gonna be more romance than it was. There is romance subplots in it, but it's more just the fantasy world. Personally for me, I liked Jude's character development, kind of getting her from the beginning all the way to the end. There was just a bunch of characters in here I didn't like. The romance I wasn't really interested in, I'm not gonna lie. And then also, I think it was just Holly Black's writing. I thought there was a lot of just unnecessary descriptive details that I was just like, it was putting me to sleep. I was getting so bored reading it, and I just wanted more, I think. So that when the parts did come, like the more interesting plot twisty type of parts and like the more entertaining parts, I wasn't like really that interested because I was like, oh, it took me so long to get there, you know? I didn't love it. I will say the last book, The Queen of Nothing, was the best for me. Like the plot line in this one compared to the first two was like so much better for me, and I've heard that. I heard it's not like the best first book because it's so much world building that it's like I don't even care anymore. But the third one, when you get all the characters, you get the land and the world, you understand more. Like this plot line also, it just like it all kind of came together for me at this one. There were more boring parts, but like you kind of like feel like you know the characters at this point because you're in the third book of the series. So I did enjoy this one. Getting there, I just feel like it wasn't even worth it for me to read all this, but I am happy that I did at least give it a try because it's such a popular series. I see it everywhere, and it's one of those that I didn't like, but like I understand why so many people loved it, so like it's fine. Don't come at me because I didn't love it. Personal opinions, I understand why, or if you do love it, it's just for me it wasn't a series for me. Okay, and then I read Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. We started this month with a lot of fantasy dystopian world and books, so I really needed a romance after that, and I did read this. This is the second book from the first one is It Happened One Summer. That one is Brendan and Piper, enemies to lovers. She goes to a small town. Stepfather wants her to kind of come back to reality, so she goes there. She meets Brendan. That's the first one. She goes with her sister Hannah, who is in this one, and she became friends with Brendan's friend from the first book, Fox. And they're just kind of friendly, so this one is a friends to lovers, which I really enjoyed. I'm a big fan of friends to lovers. I just think it's nice when you have like that kind of like relationship and like foundation in the beginning, and then you kind of like grow into like a relationship. I really like it. That's what this one was. The only thing is I gave this a 3 out of 5. I don't know, this one fell flat for me. I think I liked It Happened One Summer so much more. I think there's more depth in that one. This one kind of got boring in some parts, and also the reason that Fox was kind of like holding back from Hannah, it just kind of gave me the ick, and I was just like, why is this his trauma? Like, why is this the reason he's not wanting to be with Hannah right now, and just like kind of like putting like a split between them? Because obviously they liked each other. It was very clear. They had a lot of chemistry between each other, and they knew that. So I don't know, usually there's like that almost at the end of the book kind of fight that goes on, and when it happened in here, I was just like, so it just ruined it for me. I didn't really like that. I mean, I liked Hannah as a character. I was so excited to read this because I was excited to read Hannah's story and how she feels and stuff, and she's kind of like feels like she's like in the background of life and like not the main character, because Piper was always like in the front row, and you kind of get like how she loves music and stuff. I don't know, I really liked it. I just like how modern it is. Like when they're texting in here, it's not like cringy, creepy, weird, and it's just like it feels really realistic, so I liked that. But I don't know, it wasn't really like just my favorite. I don't know. Okay, so then we get into the video I filmed reading Colleen for a whole day. So if you've watched that, or if you haven't, go watch it, but if you did, this kind of might be repetitive. But if you want reactions, again, read that or watch that. Okay, so I finished the Hopeless kind of, I wouldn't say series because you don't have to read it as a series like you read standalones, but kind of like the sequence of the book. So I read Hopeless a while ago, I read All Your Perfects a while ago, but then you have these, so it goes Hopeless and then Losing Hope. So this is Hopeless story, but told in Holder's point of view, which is the guy love interest in Hopeless. And I read that I think last year, Hopeless, so I finally picked this up, and I remember Hopeless being one of my favorite Colleen books. Like it was just like not what I expected at all. And it's basically about Skye. She runs into Holder, and he kind of has like this instant feeling to get to know her and intrigue with her, and she's kind of like, why is this guy like all up in my business? They end up like dating and stuff, and then at the end there's just like so many like plot twists and just like crazy stuff about everyone's past that comes to life. What is the word? Like comes forward. I don't know. It was just so crazy, not what I expected, and I kind of forgot some of the stuff that happened in Hopeless. So when I read this, it was just so good, and I think I prefer Holder's point of view of what happened over the first book. I think I preferred this because it's the whole Hopeless book told in Holder's point of view. It's not like the situations after Hopeless. Like it's literally just the Hopeless book in a different point of view. But I just loved it. I think I liked his point of view better. I gave this 5 stars, and like I knew what was gonna come and what was gonna happen, but I was still like getting goosebumps, and I was still like shook. So then after that, you read Finding Cinderella, which is about 2 characters that are in Hopeless / Losing Hope. This is about his best friend Daniel and her best friend Six. You get kind of like a story about them in Losing Hope, basically saying how Daniel and Six met in a janitor's closet type of thing going on, and they didn't know it was each other, that she kind of like ran in and he was in there, and it was like this thing, and then he just like never sees her again, doesn't find her, doesn't know who she is, and then they strike up something, they figure out it's each other. It's like really, it's cute, it's interesting, it's right to the point because it's really short, so I really liked that. And then after that you read All Your Perfects, which I already read, and then Finding Feeling Perfect is like all of these characters in the last book, super short, 80 pages. You get all your Perfect characters, all of these characters, you get Holder, Sky, everyone, and it's all in this book. So good. It wraps everything up. Short, sweet, to the point. I love novellas because of that reason. It just comes together so nicely, and I like that it's no like fluff in the middle. It's just like, this is what happened, this is everyone that's together, and this is how it ends. So I enjoyed these two. I think I gave 4 out of 5, 3 out of 5. I think I gave 4 out of 5 for them. I enjoyed them. I think they were good. And I feel like if you only read Hopeless and you haven't continued on, I think you should read like this order, because it kind of just like, I love seeing characters in other books from the same author like show up in other books, you know? Oh my god, it was so good. Like seeing the crossover. I loved it. Okay, so then I read Maybe Someday. This was in the same video. I didn't get to read the rest of this. I have them. I have Maybe Not, and then Maybe Now I think is delivering soon. It took so long for me to get it. I don't know what's going on with it. I think she's changing the covers and the publishing, something's going on. So it took me forever to find Maybe Now, so it didn't even deliver yet. So I put it off. I did read this one. I gave it a 3 out of 5. Obviously the writing I enjoyed because it's Colleen. I love Colleen. We know that by now, but the storyline just wasn't for me. It was love triangle. It was giving me, I just felt so bad because it's basically about Ridge and Sydney. Sydney's boyfriend cheats on her with her best friend, so she runs to the first person that she knows, kind of, which is her neighbor Ridge. Lives across the courtyard from them in the same apartments because she's in college, they're in college, whatever. She kind of like lives there rent-free for a little bit, and they kind of spark something. But the thing is, he has a girlfriend who he's very loyal to, and she's a sweetheart. Like, there's really nothing wrong with the relationship. And Maggie, his girlfriend, is such a sweetheart, where it was just like hurting me what they were like doing and just talking and just like crossing lines you shouldn't cross and like trying to justify it. I don't know, it wasn't justified in my head. I gave it a 3 out of 5 because I liked the writing. It just wasn't my favorite, and it was just like when they were even just like flirting, I was just getting like either break up with your girlfriend or don't flirt, or Sydney, like, don't cross lines when you know he has a girlfriend. It's like, that's why love triangles for me are just so rough, and I don't know. There was a part in here, or just like part of the story, it doesn't tell you on the back, so it definitely surprised me, so I don't really want to say it. It's not that big of a surprise, but something with Ridge, and I think that that made the story more interesting because he's a musician, he's a guitarist in like a little band, so he has like struggles that he goes through, and like seeing the way he's able to do music and stuff like that aspect of the book is really good, but just like the romance part was not for me. That's that. I still have to read the other two. I think the second one is Maybe Not, between Ridge's roommate and his girlfriend thing going on, which I'm really excited about because I loved that character, those characters, so I'm excited. But Maybe Now, I don't know. I just don't really love them together. Then we go into the other video that I filmed, which was reading books out of my comfort zone. This was a cute little poetry book. This is called Loving Like Jane by Riley Magzun. I think that's how you say it. This is just a cute little, again, poetry book about love, loss, heartbreak, seeing yourself in other people. It's really good. I like the little poetry, and I was saying in that video how I think everyone should just have like a poetry book about a topic that you can connect with, because having this, you can read through the poems and everyone could relate to different ones or the same ones in different ways. I think that's why I really like poetry, because it's very personalized and it's just like you can interpret it in different ways, you know? So this was really sweet. It was obviously a quick read, but like also you don't need to buy a poetry book to like read it through. I did that, but you can just buy one, kind of skip through them when you're feeling like you need a relatable poetry topic. It was really sweet, really cute, so I liked that one. Then I read The Virgin Suicides by Jeffrey Eugenine. I think that's how you say it. I said in that video that I bought this book because I saw the cover and then I realized it's like an old movie, a book, whatever. I had high hopes going into it because this is about, well, it's just a story about 5 sisters who one by one over the span of a year end up killing themselves, but it's told in the point of view of the neighborhood boys that kind of have this infatuation with the girls. So in the beginning of the book, it basically tells you like this isn't going to be a mystery of why the girls killed themselves. Like, it's literally just going to be like the story of what happened through their point of view. And I gave this 1 star, and I was trying to say my opinions on this book and people came at me, and it's like, I don't know how many times I can say like an opinion's opinion on books. Like, if you loved this book, I'm really happy for you. Like, I'm happy you could have connected with it and understood it better than I had, but I didn't like it. So if I didn't like it, I don't know. Some people just need to respect book opinions sometimes. It's hard when you don't like a book. It's nerve-wracking to put that opinion out because there's so many people that love the book, and when someone doesn't like a book that you like absolutely love, like obviously that hurts, but it's opinions, and I don't know. It was just like, how can I give my opinion on a book or like do these videos if people are gonna like come at my opinions? I don't know, but I'm gonna say it again. I didn't like this book. I gave it 1 star. Some people say it's like a really great work of literature, but for me it felt like the deaths were romanticized because of the way it was in the point of view of the guys. No one tried to stop them or help them, and obviously the neighborhood boys never really like, they didn't know the girls, but like they knew of what was going on. I don't know. I didn't like it. I did not like the way it was written. The different details that were put into the book were so boring, bland. It was rough to get through. It was just like so pretentiously written. It felt like they were or the author, or just like the way it was written, was trying to be or make the book more than it really was. Like they were trying, like, oh, it's too hard for me, in my my opinion. I still have to watch the movie. There's a movie on this, so I'm gonna see if I've missed any points or any themes through the book, but I guess this one is just one book that fell flat for me, and I understand that. It's literary fiction. Some of them hit, some of them don't for me, and this one just didn't. I just didn't like the writing, didn't like the story, and that's, again, my opinion. So if you did like this, like, it's perfectly fine. I'm really happy for you. I personally didn't like it. Then I read My Year of Rest and Relaxation, another literary fiction. I've seen this everywhere. A girl at Barnes & Noble was like, you need to pick it up, you need to read it, and I was like, I'm gonna do that because you said so. Like, of course I'm going to. And basically I didn't understand what it was about before. Like, even just reading the back, it was kind of like very general. But basically it's about this, I think she's a 24-year-old girl. She lives by herself in Manhattan. I'm pretty sure it's Manhattan. And she lives off of her parents' money, who have both passed away. She had a very horrible upbringing with her parents. They just like completely disregarded her and just very cold. And she saw her mother very depressed. And then in like her present time, obviously, she's living by herself. She's a best friend, Reva, who's very envious of her. They have a very toxic relationship. She has a psychiatrist who just prescribes her all these pills. Probably if you saw the psychiatrist on Google, like, she would probably have 1 star. Like, she is so bad. Like, she doesn't even remember the things that the main character says to her. She just like keeps prescribing her things. So it's just like, that's the reason the main character goes to her, because she wants those pills. And then she also has an ex-boyfriend-ish thing going on who's older, very toxic, very horrible. This also takes place in the year 2000. So that was very interesting for me. I really liked that because there's some like topics and things in this book that make sense for 2000 but not for today. I don't know. But basically what she does is she wants a year of rest and relaxation. She wants to shut out from the world, and the way that she does it is with the pills that the psychiatrist prescribes her, and she has so many, and she is so depressed that she just does it in like, or she does like the year of rest and relaxation in just the totally wrong way. But you see her point of view, how depressed she is, how down she is, and just like how sluggish she feels, and just her day-to-day life being so just bad. I think it's the only word I really could use, but I really enjoyed it. It was just like not what I expected, and I feel like the book kind of just like keeps going and going. It could get repetitive, but it's just like it keeps going. And the ending I really liked because I knew through the dates that she was saying throughout the year it ended at that date, and I was like, how is the author going to include this within the book? And I really liked the way that she did it, so I enjoyed it. It gets kind of weird at some points, but I thought it was interesting, and it felt like one of the books more recently. During this time I was doing a lot of like videos for books, like reading Colleen for a day and then doing genres out of my comfort zone, which was this one. But this one felt like more of a mood read. Like, I wanted to pick this up and read it. It wasn't like I was reading for a video, you know. I think it's also why I liked it. It was very intriguing to me. It was different from anything I've ever read. I gave it a 3 out of 5 though. So then I read The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. This is my first book by her. I've seen it everywhere. I've had it from Book of the Month for literally so long. I've just never picked it up, but I was like, I need a thriller for this video. I'm gonna just do it. This one I've always had my eye on. I've seen so many people read it. Did I give it a 4 out of 5? If I could rate it right now, I think I would say like 3.5 out of 5. I wish on Goodreads you could do like half stars. That would really help me out. But this is about, I think her name is Jess. Could have made that up. Yeah. Oh. I always forget names, but this is about Jess. So she calls her half-brother Ben to come move in with him. He lives in Paris in this apartment building, and when she shows up there, he doesn't answer his phone. He is not there. He is missing. He is gone. There's 5 people that live in this building. You have the socialite, the nice guy, the alcoholic, the girl on the verge, and the concierge. And she meets all these people. They're all very suspicious. But what I liked about this book is the chapters were short. You get all of these different people's point of view, so you see like how they're feeling about him going missing and their part in the story. And then I also liked the way it was written. It was kind of just like really straight to the point, and then sometimes I get bored in thrillers when they're kind of giving unnecessary details and making it seem more than it is. I really liked that. I liked her writing style. The only thing is, the one plot twist I really liked was in the middle of the book, not the end of the book, and I also kind of figured out at the end what was going on and what happened as it was getting like told. So that was kind of a bummer. Like, I kind of wanted like that surprise element, but nonetheless, like, I liked the writing, I liked the story. It was more of a mystery than a thriller though. Like, there wasn't really, I mean, there were some parts that I think she was trying to make it kind of like eerie type of thing going on, but I did enjoy it. I thought it was good. I think I'm gonna try to read more thrillers / mysteries in August, so I'm excited. But this was a good start. I really liked this. I think I needed a break from all of the weird different books I was reading, and I think a thriller was good for that. Then I read Restore Me, so that was like obviously at the end of the month again. Then after that I read Kiss Away Your Pain by Debbie Crobak. This was on my Kindle actually, and it's the second book of the series, but the first one is called Someone Exactly Like Me, and Someone Exactly Like Me is about Destiny set up with Nico by her best friend Candy, and it's kind of like their romance and their story, and Candy's just like the best friend. And I read that and I loved Candy. Candy was my favorite character. She was very like spontaneous, spunky. She has like the pink hair. She's like super, like, she's literally the best friend. Like, their relationship is just such a good friendship. So then Debbie came out with the second one, and I just recently read it. It literally just came out, and it's basically about Candy's love story. She had kind of like a tough past relationship where that ended for whatever reason it did. I'm not going to say anything, but then she is at their wedding, Destiny and Nico's wedding, and the bartender slash model guy, he does like both jobs, takes an interest to Candy, but she's kind of closed off because of her past, and he's like kind of really trying, but like it's not working out, kind of. I don't know. I will say the beginning was very rom-com-y. I wrote down, I literally was picturing like a rom-com movie in my head when I was reading it, and I was like, this literally feels like I'm watching a Netflix rom-com movie. And then it kind of like picks up from there. There was like a plot twist thing at the end that I just did not see coming, and I was literally like, oh my god. It's also a dual point of view. It's a very quick read. I also said that I like that it focuses on them as characters and no other factors. Like, it's literally just about them, their relationship, how they grow together. Like, nothing else really affects it, and I like that. Sometimes there you get like other points in a book or something, and it's just kind of like it all gets muddled together, but it was literally just about them. Yeah, it was a quick romance read, and I just love their friendship, Destiny and Candy, and this one too. Like, they just had the best friendship ever, so that was really nice. I think I'd give that a 4 out of 5. And then the last book of the month I read was Funny You Should Ask by Alyssa Sussman. This one was so high on my TBR for so long that I just never picked it up. I don't know why. I feel like that happens a lot. Also, when I see a book literally everywhere, so many people read it, I kind of like knock it down a little sometimes. I'll either knock it down a little just because I'm like scared I won't like it, or I'll like need to read it right then and there because I need to know why everyone's either hyping it or not, whatever. So this one I didn't pick up, and I've had for a very long time. The cover we know is just so cute. I went recently, I literally just got back today from Ocean City with my boyfriend's family. I went there, brought this book with me that I was gonna start, and literally his cousin and his sister were also reading it. So we kind of had this whole buddy reading thing going on. And I read this in a day. I rated it 3 out of 5, but I also read it in a day. Maybe a little less than a day. Like, I sped through this book. So I will say the writing style of it I liked. Some parts kind of got boring. I don't know. Okay, this is about, I don't know how to say her name. I say Chani, but I think that's not how you say it. She's a journalist, and 10 years earlier she did a article story on a famous guy, Gabe Parker, and they spent kind of like a few days together, a few interesting days together, and she wrote about it, and that kind of like started her career and kind of gave him like an up because he was playing Bond in a movie. No one wanted him to play Bond, so she did the story of why he should. She spent days with him, whatever. Now present 10 years later, they want another story on him and they want her to do it. That's basically what this is about. So you kind of get the then and now. The only thing that it was confusing for me because she said then and now, but sometimes I was like, I don't know what point of the timeline we're in. You also get article and journal entries like in between each chapter, which was really, it was cute, it was interesting. It was definitely a different way to like incorporate that, and I did enjoy it because it kind of gave what the public was thinking and like the media was thinking of what was going on, and then you kind of got like what really was going on. So I did enjoy that. I didn't like Chani as a main character. I don't know what it was. She gave me like cringy when she was trying to do her first interview. I know it was like obviously her first spin at this journalist thing interviewing, but it just gave me such cringy, wasn't going well. So that kind of like, I didn't like that. I loved the second chance romance. I loved that part. It's just with them I felt so like their relationship was so bland. I expected so much more from this book. Like, I didn't hate it. I just like expected, like my expectations were so much higher. So yeah, I like the second chance romance, but I didn't like the famous person trope. That's not for me. I don't think I like reading about a famous person and then like a journalist or like a normal person getting together. I don't know. I did give it a 3 out of 5. Read it quick, but I just expected more. Those are all the books that I read in July. Definitely a big range of genres, range of books. I think I want to film an August TBR. I never have a TBR because I don't know what videos I'm filming. I don't know if I'm mood reading. I don't know what's going on. But I think for August, I'm gonna have majority TBR. I'm gonna try because there's a lot of books back here that I need to get to, and I just feel like I need to get to them. So I think I'm gonna film one in a few days. So watch out for that. Let me know if you've read any of these books, any of your opinions. Remember, opinions are opinions. And if you liked these books and I didn't, or if I didn't like the books and you did, if I liked the books and you didn't, or if you liked the books and I didn't, like, it's fine. We can all converse, share our opinions, but also respect them, you know? Again, let me know if you read any of these or any books you want me to read. I want to get more into thrillers. So thank you, Haley Pham, for that because she is just really sparking my interest in it. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you hopefully in the next one. Bye!